Now when we talk basic pegging, most people do have some understanding of basic pegging. When we get into trap plays and advanced pegging, we're talking about 25% of tournament players that have a pegging game. 25%. So you stand out if you improve your pegging game. Now the basics, let's start with the 1-4. We got the 1-4 with some 10-point cards. It doesn't really make too much difference what the 10-point cards are, but we'll talk about some different things to do. Which of these, in most cases, which of these two cards, in most cases, is preferable to lead?
4.
Okay, and why is the 4 preferable?
Because at the end, you're going to want your 1 to take out at the end.
They're more likely to play a 10 on it.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
I want to force the 5 off the play. If you lead this one,
I can drop my 5.
I drop my 5 for 6. What do you do with that? Probably nothing. So force the 5 off the play. If you want 15, force the 5 off the play with the 4. Now I agree there's one case, and we'll get into that in our middle pegging class. There is a hand frequently held where the 1 is slightly better offering. But in a hand where we've got these two with a couple of 10-pointers, the 4 is the better card because it forces the 5 off the play, and I want to get a 14 count. If I play this, I may get a 6 count because I'm going to put a 5 on it rather than make the count 11. There may be people that love the 11 count, but that's how to play this.
George, yeah.
But the 4 forces the 5 off the play, and so it is with the 3. If you lead the 3, and there's some hands with this little combination that are really good for you. We're going to get into those. If you're the non-dealer and you pick up a 2, 3, 4, 6, don't lead the 2. The 3 forces the 5 off the play. What can I do with my 5 on the deuce? Is it dangerous for me to put a 5 on the deuce?
Yeah, make it 7.
Yeah, minor.
See?
They got
I can put a 5 on this deuce any old time I want. Am I likely to put it on your 3? No, so I make the count 13, you get the 15. So as a rule, it's preferable to lead the larger card in these 5-point couplets because it forces the 5 off the play and gets the count that I would like it to be. So I don't get out fox. Generally, if you're holding a double run, what do we got here? 2, 3, 3, 4.
drop a 3.
What's the percentage play?
3.
Lead to 3. You got it covered. It keeps 3 cards in a sequence. By leading to 3, you made the safest presentation you could make. And you also kept 3 cards in sequence, which very often has value later to have 3 in a row. This is, if you were the dealer, the hand works quite a bit different. What would you try to do? Say you were holding this hand here, 2, 3, 3, 4. We're going to lead to 3 if I'm not dealing, because I don't have the lead otherwise. So I lead to 3. That's a percentage play. The 3 is covered by the play of another 3. If they make the count 11, which people like to do, if they've got an 8 spot, they like to make 11. Also, sometimes, seeing a 3, they'll force you to have another 3 and play a 9 for 12. See if you got a pair. The only way you'll score is if you got a pair. So this is a percentage play. And most of the time with a double run, unless you're looking at a trap play, which we'll get into later, most of the time with a double run, it is advisable to lead from your pair. I'll demonstrate how that works with some of these. We got a 3, 4, 4, 5, we lead to 4. We lead from our strength. The chances are reduced that the opponent would have a 4. If they do, we're probably going to take 6 points. Take our chances generally that they won't have the 4th one. You might not want to do that on 4th Street necessarily, but 6, 7, 8, 8. These middle cards are so important to lead from your strength. I see people every week play a 6. That's the absolute worst card you could lay on the table. I mean, what do you do now when I put my 9 on it for 15? See? You have control if you lead from the strength. Now, how come then? 6, 7, 8, 8, I say lead to 8, lead from the strength. Then I say 6, 6, 7, 8, lead to 8. How come?
7, 8.
Because if they play the 7.
They play the 9, you're trapped. You're dead meat.
Okay. So now, there is a time to lead the 6. But only if you know where 3 of these little suckers are. If you know where a 9 and 2 6s are, or 3 6s, or 3 9s, you know where there's 3 of them, could be one on the deck, then the odds are slightly in your favor to go from this end. But if this is all you know, then the 8 is the correct lead. So we say lead from your strength most of the time. Here's another one. If we led from our strength, we'd lead to 1. 1, 1, 4, queen, lead to 4. Now, I got to tell you that I get in the playoffs a lot of time by passing up this 15. If you only need 2 pegs, go ahead and take the 15. But if you need 4 or more, pass it up. And if you're lucky, they'll put a queen on your 4. And so you pair the queen for 24. What's the most likely card they play next?
9.
5 for 29.
Yep.
You say 30, they say go, you say 31 for 4.
Yep.
So you got 6 unanswered pegs. Take the 15 if 2 points is fine. Pass it if you need more. And I remember Ron Morgan in Portland. One year I needed a big score in Portland to make the All-American team. I needed 35. I got 34. I had a good score, but it wasn't enough. So I said, the only way that I can go now, make this team, is I only had to make the final 4 before. Now I got to make the final 2. And this exact hand came along. I had a chance to take 15, and I thought Ron Morgan was going to pass out on the floor. Huh. I mean, and after it was over, he said, "Brilliant! I thought you made a mistake not taking 2. I said, "Ron, I needed 6. There's no way I could win the game with 2. Being close, unless it's in a grassroots tournament or something, doesn't matter. You know, when you're in the playoffs, you advance if you win. You don't advance if you're close." So
Losing by 1.
take a look at that very carefully, because most of the time when you get a 10-point lead, you lead to 4 and you get a 10-point card dropped on it. Your opponent also has a 5.
Pair it if you can.
So you can very often get 4 by skipping the first 2.